China was just hit with what looks to be the biblical plagues that struck Egypt in the book of Exodus. There's frogs, locusts, and hail wreaking havoc upon the land. In this video, we'll look at all of these, some anomalies that have happened in the sky, is there any connection to China's artificial sun, and we'll also look at an update of the chikungunya virus and the cover-up surrounding it, as well as an update on China's war on Christianity. But if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all your territory with frogs. Recent videos from China show something very similar happening there, like this plague that was brought against Egypt.
In Tianjin, an unusual frog phenomenon occurred recently. The relevant authorities in the Chinese Communist Party said they are investigating the source of the frogs, but no results have been given yet. On the night of September 10th, in Beichen District, Tianjin, there were countless frogs all over the road. Citizens who filmed the scene said it was eerie. The appearance of these frog swarms made several citizens worried, with some wondering if it was related to earthquake activity. One netizen said, "Those with tryptophobia wouldn't be able to handle it. Walking on the road or driving would scare you. They should close the roads and clear them." Other netizens from different areas of Tianjin also reported seeing many frogs around their residential neighborhoods. With the recent rain, they frequently see frogs, but they've never seen them in such dense swarms before. On September 11th, the Beichen District Urban Management Committee responded, saying they had received reports from citizens and arranged for the sanitation department to clean up the dead frogs on the roads. However, the frog swarms continue to appear at night. The staff said that during the day, some of the frogs may die from exposure to the sun, and they can only clean up that part, but at night they keep appearing in large numbers. They mentioned that they've never encountered anything like frogs covering the streets before, and they don't know where they come from.
In Exodus 10:4, God says that he will bring locusts against Egypt if they don't let his people go. The book of Joel references locusts being used as a form of judgment, and the book of Revelation has a type of locust entity coming out from the bottomless pit in the last days. China also recently experienced swarms of locusts invading their land.
In Hunan, a swarm of locusts overwhelmed the land, devouring all the vegetation. This video from Manzhouli, Inner Mongolia, shows an unknown type of flying insect covering people in a storm. In mid-September, a netizen reported seeing a strange phenomena in many areas of Henan province. Small white insects flying everywhere. These insects, like snowflakes, float through the air, light yet relentless, making it impossible to avoid them. Some netizens exclaimed, "Those aren't bugs, it's like snow falling from the sky." These tiny white insects, no more than 1 or 2 millimeters long, have white bodies, delicate wings, and resemble small moths. They feed on plant branches and leaves, often gathering in large swarms. Their breeding capacity is remarkable, and they're known as whiteflies. According to netizens in Henan, from the end of August until now, the whitefly infestation has become a disaster, disrupting not just the fields and villages, but even invading people's doorsteps. The whiteflies swarm and hit people's faces, and just opening your mouth is enough to let them in. A few days ago, a netizen from Pingdingshan in Henan posted a video asking, "What's going on here? Does anybody know? Why are there so many bugs in Pingdingshan? The sky is full of these little white insects flying around. They weren't here yesterday, but overnight, they've all appeared. It looks like snow." It's not just the whitefly causing trouble. Another, even more unsettling swarm of insects has appeared in Henan. However, no reports from mainland media have been seen. Only videos from netizens on platforms like Douyin revealed this bizarre phenomenon. In the videos, large grub-like insects can be seen covering trees, climbing from the ground to the treetops. They feed on the leaves. Netizens said there were so many bugs that it looked like they came straight from hell. A netizen posted a video asking, "Is this an infestation? This is the view from my hometown's mountain, and I can't even imagine it. The leaves on the trees have been eaten away, and the infestation has spread to the crops." Another netizen shared a video from Zhumadian, Henan, saying that it felt like the area was cursed. The mountain was covered in these insects, and the trees were completely bare. The ground was covered with dead branches and leaves. The forest was left barren. The netizen asked, "Where are the experts? Why aren't they coming out to explain this?"
In Exodus 9:18 through 26, God says that he will send very heavy hail to fall, such as has not been in Egypt since its founding until now. Just like the locusts, hail is also a form of judgment mentioned many times throughout the Bible, in the book of Psalms, Isaiah, and Job. Also in Revelation, when there will be great hailstones, about 100 pounds each, that will fall upon the earth. Crazy to see so many similarities to these plagues happening in China, but this was another one. massive hailstorms.
On the evening of September 13th, strong winds suddenly swept through Beijing, bringing heavy rain and causing tree branches to fall all over the ground. Then, hail began to fall, with some areas seeing so much hail that it piled up like snow. Some netizens believed this was the heavens showing anger. A Beijing resident speaking under a pseudonym told reporters all the vehicles were damaged by the hail. Whether it was the front or rear windshields, they were all smashed, and the hoods were dented all over like bubble wrap. Some older people told me that they hadn't seen weather like this in 40 years. They also said that by September it should already be cool, but it's still so hot in Beijing this year. Normally, September should be a time for gentle autumn winds and light rain. I didn't expect Beijing to still be this hot, and for such huge hail to fall. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Another Beijing resident said, in Shijingshan and Fengtai, the hail was very large, like the size of ping pong balls or eggs, and the ground was covered in white. He added, there's an ancient saying about extreme injustice. When such places exist, the sky will suddenly bring heavy snow, even in June. It's the same now. In places like Liaoning's Masanjia and Beijing's Jiujing in Fengtai, the methods used against dissidents are extremely cruel and violent, worse than the mafia. Clouds in the sky don't always mean it will rain, but wherever it rains, there are always clouds. It's the same on the ground. In places of evil, where there's no justice, disasters and man-made tragedies are inevitable.
Before we get into the chikungunya update and how China is just blanketing the streets with poison, and the update on China's war on Christianity, there were a few recent anomalies in the sky recorded in China, and with all the other things going on, it's worth documenting this because maybe there's some connection here.
This video was uploaded by a netizen on September 18th, showing an unidentified flying object in the Putuo district of Shanghai. The object can be seen floating in the night sky, its movements soft and almost motionless. It also spins in place, which rules out the possibility of it being a drone. The person filming zooms in and out, showing that the footage is real and not altered in post-production. One netizen wondered if it could be a torn plastic bag, but others replied, please use your brain. Would a torn plastic bag move like that without wind? If it were wind, could it remain in the same spot? A netizen uploaded a video of a strange cloud that appeared in Beijing sky a month earlier and asked experts to explain what the cloud was called. A parhelion, or a mock sun, also signals political instability. The ancient Chinese believed that the sun symbolized the ruler, and celestial phenomena related to the sun were closely connected with the ruling authority. The appearance of multiple suns was interpreted as a sign of impending division across the land. All of these signs seem to point to one outcome. The downfall of the Chinese Communist Party is imminent. The only uncertainty, and what we should pay attention to, is how many people will face misfortune during this process, and how many will survive the calamity.
There's a lot of activity happening on the sun recently, massive solar flares and solar storms, the biggest that are known. And just thinking about these solar storms made me think back to China's artificial sun that creates nuclear fusion.
Nuclear fusion is the next big thing in global tech, and it promises the sun. Well, an artificial sun. It is basically a device, a reactor, and it can replicate the sun's insides. It can create nuclear fusion. China has one, an artificial sun reactor. It uses extreme heat and pressure to create nuclear fusion.
China's also in the process of potentially building the largest hadron collider, similar to CERN. And just like I mentioned, the locusts in the book of Revelation that come out of the bottomless pit, the hadron collider, or some form of advanced technology to open that bottomless pit, is a theory worth entertaining. Videos are constantly being posted on social media recently of China taking progressive actions to try to prevent some virus. In the beginning of August, we were hearing about this chikungunya virus outbreak, seeing hospitals once again packed, very similar to 2020. More news is coming out even in just the past 24 hours, saying that scientists detect a new bat-like virus similar to the 19 or mosquito-borne viruses that are troubling Asia, and there's always talk of the potential of a dangerous bird flu. Well, whatever it is, the Chinese government is out in the streets spraying their poison, trying to prevent this thing from spreading.
Oh, man.
You can see all the way from up there. What are we on, the 22nd floor?
Yes.
You can see the clouds. Look at the clouds.
The entire city there is just covered in poison.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think this is a chikungunya response, but I think they've not told us how bad it's gotten.
Yeah. I mean, you could see people lining up for their blood tests and stuff there as well. But something's going on here which is being kept hush-hush, but, something of a big, big nature. Look at these people burning the mosquito coils. Oh, dude, that's like,
I hate
now you're
that.
poisoning yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my word, I can't handle it. That smell of that stuff is
I know.
vile. Anyway, look at this. They broke into a guy's house, and he has a fish pond in there, as you can see it over here, where he's got some of his own like ornamental fish, but he also has been like he's keeping fish that he breeds to sell for food, right?
Yeah.
So they pour this poison all over inside his house here. I mean, and then look, the fish died. So for anyone who's saying it's not poison, it killed all this dude's fish. It's 100% poison.
For at this time I will send all my plagues to your very heart, and on your servants and on your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. These are the judgments that God brought against Egypt when they were rebellious to his cause. What we're seeing in China right now is very reminiscent to a lot of these plagues. I don't know if these are for sure a judgment from God. They could just be natural occurrences, but there's no denying the fact that the Chinese Communist Party is attacking Christians. They have a watered down state-sponsored Christianity, but the true Christians, the underground churches, are persecuted, thrown in jail, and harassed on a regular basis. So maybe what we're seeing is a form of judgment, a sign for the CCP to stop their persecution of God's people. Whether they're facing some form of judgment now or not, they will in the end if they don't repent and turn to God, and I pray that they will. Vengeance is the Lord's. One day Jesus Christ will reign on the earth, and in the meantime, let's be in prayer for our persecuted Christian brothers and sisters around the world.
The CCP is fine with Christian churches just as long as they are Sinicized with Chinese characteristics. That's code for forcing Christians to conform to party ideology and become communist puppets. And when it comes to Sinicizing Christianity, the CCP has been very busy. They've rewritten parts of the Bible, made state-approved churches perform patriotic music, required clergy to pledge allegiance to the CCP and socialism, put Xi Jinping portraits up in church sanctuaries, and made church library rooms stock books on Xi Jinping's speeches and state regulations. Even if you belong to a state-sanctioned church, they're tightening the leash. They're ramping up surveillance, not just with cameras. Some churches are being told to install face and fingerprint scanners. In Henan province, Christians must now submit an online form beforehand on a new smart religion app in order to attend church. And these are state-approved churches. The Chinese government has also launched a database for church leaders, showing the public things like names, photos, and church affiliation, supposedly to ensure openness and safety against fraud and fake religious leaders. Totally not for tracking and monitoring people, right?